Yeah.
Hey, Ari.
So next we have the Assistant U.S. Attorney Deepika Shukla, and I understand that you're the chief of our Western Mass Division. Did I get that right? Yes. So I'm going to read your bio. And I just want to say that I've had the opportunity to hear you speak a couple times. You've participated in bridge events over the years, and I really always appreciate your perspective and learn a lot. And I really think it's great behind these institutions to know individuals and know a little bit about your story and your work. So thank you. Um, Deepika Bain Shukla is the Assistant United States Attorney for the District of Massachusetts in Springfield. She prosecutes federal criminal cases, including involving fraud, public corruption, gun and drug crimes, terrorism, and civil rights crimes. Before starting at the U.S. Attorney's Office in 2014, Deepika was a staff attorney at the Connecticut Fair Housing Center, a litigator at a small civil rights firm, and an associate at a large law firm in New York. Deepika earned her JD at the University of California, Berkeley. So thank you, Deepika, for being with us tonight.
Thank you, Gwendolyn. And I'm really honored to be here and to be invited to speak here. And I just want to note what you said in your introduction about power not solely being in the hands of our government. And though I'm here to speak to you as a member of our federal government, I wholeheartedly agree with that. I was a community organizer before I went to law school and decided to go to law school because I wanted to use um, that skill and the power that comes with a law degree to do good in the world. So I want to encourage everyone, although I'm going to tell you about the resources we have available through the federal government, to really take that point to heart, that the power lies. I'm particularly struck by what's happening with the election and looking at Georgia and the incredible organizing that happened there, led by Stacey Abrams, and it's really inspiring what people can do. So I want to tell you a little bit about why I wanted to be part of the United States government and sort of my complicated history with what it means to be American. I became a citizen of the United States on September 5th, 6th, 2001. And I had so much pride and becoming an American and doing everything I had to do to become an American. Then 5 years later, September 11th happened. Sorry, 5 days later, September 11th happened. And I'm sure everybody remembers the feelings that, or where they were that day, what they were feeling. And I do too. Devastation for what it meant to be an American, why this was happening, heartbreak for the victims. But then quickly thereafter, I found myself and people who looked like me becoming the target of pretty severe hate crimes just because of the way we looked and the assumptions that people made about us. I saw my mother put a sticker of an American flag on her car. And I asked why she did that because I had never seen that before. And she said, well, if the police encounter us or other people do, I just want people to know very clearly that we are American and we support America. And so, you know, this sort of complicated idea of what it means to be an American really started to develop in my mind. And I had really conflicting thoughts. Now, when I went on many years later to apply to be an assistant United States attorney and to represent the federal government in court cases, I was really proud to get that position, given this complicated history, given that I feel so American, but am often seen as un-American. So I'm very proud to stand up in court and say my name is Deepika Bain Shukla and I represent the United States. And I think it is crucial for people of color to be part of the United States government and other governments, because while I just said that the power is with the people, there is a significant amount of power with the government. And I think we need people who are thinking the right things, who want to do good and who want to do true justice with access to the type of power that the government gives you. So that's just a little bit about myself. Now I want to tell you about some of the resources we have. I sit in Springfield. We cover the 4 western counties of the Commonwealth, and we prosecute federal crimes in those counties. We also do civil work, including civil rights investigations that are purely civil in nature. Um, and so a large part of my cases have been civil rights cases in 2 different arenas. There's hate crimes and also police misconduct cases where we prosecute police officers, usually for using excessive force against civilians. I want to talk a little bit about hate crimes, and the latest FBI statistics are from 2018. They keep statistics about hate crimes around the country. They don't come out very frequently or frequently enough, but the most recent ones found that 59.6% of hate crimes targeted victims because of bias against their race or ethnicity. And by far, the largest group that was targeted were people because they were Black. That is consistently every year, and it goes up every year, the case with the statistics. And over the past 5 years or so, the incidents of hate crimes have been going up a lot. I don't have a lot of time today, but what I normally do is give some information about what is a hate crimes versus hate speech. But I'll just summarily say, please let the FBI know if you see something. We don't want to leave it up to the public to make this determination of, well, I see some hate speech. I don't know if it's a crime. I'll just keep it to myself. We want to know about these things because we can evaluate that. And we have prosecuted cases sometimes where someone might think it's just hate speech, but because of certain legal requirements, it does reach the level of a hate crime. And I will give you the information. You can go to the website tips.fbi.gov to report anything. You can also call 855-TELL-FBI, TELL-FBI. I know nobody has phones anymore with letters on them, so I don't really know what the numbers mean, but I'm sure we can figure that out. I want to turn now to the work we do in terms of police misconduct. I have prosecuted cases and taken them to trial where we prosecuted police officers for the use of excessive force. I have one coming up, and I can't really discuss pending cases, but the most recent trial I did was in January 2019. It was against a police officer from the town of Hadley, which is in Hampshire County, where the defendant was in a booking room with the arrestee, and the arrestee started talking back to him. So the defendant came over and elbowed the arrestee in his nose. His head bounced against the concrete wall behind him, and he broke his nose. We were able to, as you can imagine, these cases are really hard to take to trial and really hard to convince a jury of 12 unanimously that the officer is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And so we certainly had challenges, but we were able to prevail and obtain a conviction in that case. And, this was before George Floyd was murdered. I think that people are changing the way they think about these things because of George Floyd, and it's a shame that he had to die in that manner for some people to just really wake up and see what was happening. But I think the public sentiment is taking a turn for the better. Now, lastly, I want to say that we do quite a bit of outreach from our office. We have Cara Henderson on the call today from my office. Though she lives in Boston, she is out in the Berkshires all the time, and she really puts in the time to do that outreach and to be in the community. And that is very important to us as well. Again, bringing it back to the fact that people are what matter here, and what people want is what matters. And there's so much power within people and organizing. So I thank you all for listening to me for a few minutes. And I'm so honored to be here. So thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much for speaking, and I want to wish your husband a happy birthday. And I look forward to working with you soon. So thank you so much. Thank you for all that